Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folare. Well, looking towards 2023, the elections, and in particular the presidential elections, it's no news by now. Yesterday, the national chairman of APC, Senator Ayodele Adewale, has announced the Director General of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, and that's in the person of Governor Simon Lalong. Okay, we'll talk about this morning, and I have two guests, one in our Abuja studio, where Comrade Wole Badmus, Southwest Coordinator, Grand Alliance for Tinubu Shetima 2023, GATS or GATS, is standing by. Good morning to you, Comrade.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Good morning, Nigerians.
And in our Lagos studio, we have Comrade Ayodele Adewale, APC Organizing Secretary, Lagos State Chapter. Good morning to you as well, Comrade.
Good morning, sir. Thanks for having me.
Indeed, thank you very much. Our pleasure. Okay, let me start in here. Governor Simon Lalong, first of all, said that he was surprised himself when he was announced. He wasn't expecting it, but then again, it's an area in which he feels entirely comfortable. He says that he just has the experience. So we'll talk about that some, but let's take a package that we put out that sort of situates the event and even gives us some pictures of the event. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back.
It is now common practice for the leadership of the All Progressives Congress to defer to the president on critical decisions and announcements within the party. This time they have come to tell President Buhari about the shape and form the presidential campaign will take ahead of next year's general election. The national chairman of the party, Senator Ayodele Adewale, announced that the governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, is the Director General of the party's presidential campaign, saddled with the responsibility to lead the party to victory at the polls.
The person who is going to be the DG, the Director General of the APC Presidential Campaign Organization, is His Excellency, seated by my left here, Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State.
We are happy with it. That is why you see the leadership cadre. And we are able to confirm to you that we've had the buy-in of Mr. President, the leader of the party.
The leadership of the APC also puts to rest the controversy about the same-faith presidential ticket. They say the conversation should be about issues and not sentiments, and insists the combination of Asiwaju Tinubu and Kashim Shettima has sent jitters down the spine of the opposition.
I'm not a Christian candidate. I was not nominated as a Christian candidate. The party said I've been nominated because of my ability. You understand? My ability, I'm governor of Plateau. I didn't say I'm governor of Christians in Plateau.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a track record of excellence. If you keep on stopping to throw stones at every dog that barks, you will not reach your destination. We will not threaten insult and lies and mischief. We have established track record of excellence. Let our opponents show what they have done in their respective states. Ladies and gentlemen, let's discuss issues.
This party is well structured. I am sure will not disappoint you.
The national chairman also doused claims that not everyone in the APC has lined up behind the Tinubu Shetima presidential ticket. He says the APC remains the most favored to get majority votes at the polls.
Every one of us has a duty inherent in his loyalty to the party to stand shoulder to shoulder with our candidate. Any sort of that is sabotage, and we'll treat it as such.
With just about 6 months until the general election, the APC and its presidential campaign team must work hard to show Nigerians what the Tinubu Shetima ticket brings to the table in terms of ending insecurity, improving the country's economic fortunes, and the general well-being of citizens. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, our thanks to Femi Akonde. That report went out earlier, as those of you who stay glued to TVC will know, but we used it to set the background to our report. Once more, in studio, Comrade Ayodele Adewale, APC Organizing Secretary, Lagos State Chapter, and in our Abuja studio as well, you've got the Southwest Coordinator, Grand Alliance for Tinubu Shetima 2023, GATS 2023, Comrade Wole Badmus. Okay then. Okay, let me start with you, Comrade Wole Badmus, because you're a bit further afield, and well, it looks like that, in a nutshell, is what it's all about. The job is not a simple one, and that's why they need a person with expertise and capability to take on this particular role. He is the Director General of the Tinubu Shetima, election ticket. He referred to it's the elephant in the room, so we might as well get it out of the way. He's referred to this whole matter about the same faith ticket, and also in that report you heard about not everybody not being on board, which was debunked, as you know, by the dignitaries we just saw there. Give me your impression about this whole idea that not all of APC, there are some members of your party who are, let it be said, quite sort of vehemently against a same faith ticket. But I don't know that they're in the majority. Comrade? There's a problem with Comrade's audio there. But essentially the same question. There appear to be elements within APC that... Comrade, good morning, sir. Again, we were waiting for you. So, did you hear the questions? You didn't hear?
I'm only hearing you. Yeah.
Maybe could you comment on... Give me your own comment on this whole matter about the same faith ticket that they brought up there, saying that it was a non-issue, but then the work is cut out for whoever. It's a campaign generally. Never mind same faith. Just selling your candidate to the electorate is a big deal.
Well, beyond the issues of puerile and sentimental reasoning, which back up, these issues of same religion tickets. Our party look beyond that, and we are more centered and focused on, delivering the dividends of democracy to teeming Nigerians, and that is in searching for the best capable hand that can deliver the dividends of democracy, advancing the nation beyond the threshold of insecurity that we are in presently, advancing the economic betterment of average Nigerian, and giving life in abundance to the teeming populace. That should be the concern of a true lover of the nation. The issue of religion, one cannot really put it in the back burner, but at the same time, it is inverted logic to put it in the front burner of the nation. Because if you look at it, presently, there is a pastor as the vice president of Nigeria. To what extent has that put advantage over Christians? On Christians over Muslims. In the same way, when you have President Jonathan as, president of this country, you have a situation where more churches, more Christians were killed in suicide attack, bombing, and everything. And what we are trying to say is that it is not the religion of the person occupying the office of the president or vice president or what have you, but it is their capacity. It is their capability to deliver on the dividend of democracy. And we have it on record that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu have this track record in Lagos State as Lagos State governor. Then Senator Kashim Shettima had that track record too in Borno State. Beyond whatever you will say, Asiwaju's policies in Lagos State are very balanced, beyond Christian religious consideration. It's for the progress of the country and the progress of the state. And to the extent that more favorable conditionalities were given to Christians in Lagos State during the time of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the governor of Lagos State. Consider his policy, return of schools to the missionaries. About 90% of those schools are Christian schools. He could not discriminate against them. Consider even his appointments, be it at local, you know, if you look at all those things, you consider them wholeheartedly. Even his own immediate family, he didn't Islamize them. So what we are saying is that you go beyond sentiment. Don't put a square peg in a round hole. You put a round peg in a round hole. The best man for the job is Asiwaju, and the best man to complement him is Senator Shettima Kashim, you know, a serving senator from Borno State. The two of them are the tickets that can really advance Nigeria into the promised land, that can really consolidate on the gains we are making under the present administration. So now, the issue of religion, what I understand is...
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come right back to you, comrade. Thank you very much. I'm going to come back.
It's how to better the well-being of Nigerians.
Okay, 1 second. I think there's a delay between us, comrade. So I think I have to pause and give room for that delay. That's why you were a bit late in hearing me. Well, Comrade Ayodele, you see, there's a sense in which Governor Simon Lalong, the brand new DG, well, the just appointed DG, has his work cut out for him. But then he said he's a man that's used to, you know, leading and used to such highbrow assignments, and he's very, very optimistic. But it is not going to be a walk in the park. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself said when he was announcing his choice that, look, the spirit of Hope 93 is upon us, you know, and this goes back to the Muslim ticket. Nobody paid any attention. What is it that has happened so very much? Hardly you noticed. What you did notice was that it was not a foreigner that Abiola had chosen as his running mate. He was a fellow Nigerian, and so everybody kept on. But between then and now, things have happened that has now made, you know, a lot of people begin to, you know, be apprehensive, or shall I say disgruntled. And it needs to be said, high-ranking APC members among them. Can you sort of explain this? Because I just heard there in the clip that we played that all of these issues, you know, God willing, will be resolved satisfactorily in good time.
Thank you once again. You see, I will start from the spirit of Hope 93. The Hope 93 spirit was just not opine on religiosity alone. It was opine on programs, was opine on objective, and trying to rework the Nigerian state that have been bastardized by the jackboot military dictators for a very long time. And if you look at Babagana Kingibe, he was a diplomat. He worked more in the international scene. And you needed to have someone that can speak their language and bring them on the table. Abiola was more of a businessman and a rallying point. He was a titan, a political, economic titan that has a lot of political capital to bring on the table. So these two blend was what Nigeria needed as at that time. So there was no need for religiosity or whatever the appendage of trying to smear them was. If you look at what we have in this present time, Asiwaju is very vast. In terms of the economy, in terms of education, in terms of governance as it is. If I will take you back to his cabinet then, I can say that we had equal blend of both religion, Muslim, Christian, in his cabinet. And above of that, you have eggheads. You talk about Mr. Yemi Cardoso, you talk about Mr. Wole Badmus, and so many of them. These were eggheads in the Nigerian sphere, economy, and all whatnot. Looking at his blend with Mr. Shettima, they all kind of faced almost the same challenges when they were in government then, and they are bringing their experience to bear. But like Mr. Shettima have said, let's start looking at the programs. We should remove ourselves from, people who are trying to distract us from our objective. The objective now is to put Nigeria back running, solve the problem of insecurity, solve the problem of energy, have 24 hours of energy supply, create energy hub for industrialization. solve the problem of ASU. Ashwaju has said he's going to make education free down to university level. That will take money back into the pockets of the students and their parents. And of course, a lot of youth restiveness would have been resolved. These are areas, the main areas that we should be looking towards.
You know, exactly, because Comrade in Abuja, Comrade Wole, coming back to you. I mean, let's face it, things got a bit complicated along the way. The point has been made that nobody wants to know the religion of the pilot that is taking you to West Germany, or sorry, no more West Germany, that is taking you to Germany. You know, nobody wants to know the religion of the surgeon that is going to work on you. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that it's a competent pilot, award-winning pilot. The religion is irrelevant. Same thing in other crucial aspects of life. So there's a tide that you're probably going to need to work against to sort of reset into reason, because it does seem from the commentary that has come that a lot of people, religion is what it is. It's you know, there's not very much logic that is involved. You must go with faith. That's why people talk about a same faith ticket, never mind religion, a same faith ticket. So this issue of faith can be quite problematic. But you repose confidence in Simon Lalong, Senator Simon Lalong, the DG, the newly appointed DG, because there's going to have to be a lot of working of this. There's going to, Comrade Ayodele in studio spoke about diplomacy, tact, knowledge, and all of that. You repose confidence in, you know, Lalong to be able to deliver on the job?
Yeah, well, Senator Simon Lalong, Governor Simon Lalong, is somebody who have walked the curve. If you look at his antecedents, you will get it that he started from the grassroots by being elected as a honorable member from Shendam local state constituency. From there, he became speaker, and he was speaker for 2 terms. The longest serving speaker in Plateau State, chairman, Council of Speakers, Council of State Speakers in Nigeria. And you could equally see his loyalty during the case of impeachment of Dariye, of which said he would not, be involved, that Dariye has not done anything. The then president, Olusegun Obasanjo, was chasing him, that he has to run out of the chamber. If you remember that incident very well. That is to tell you that in terms of experience, Governor Lalong has it abundantly. In terms of loyalty to party dictates, he equally gets it. Then you now come to issue of maintenance of peace, stability, and for state development. I will refer you to the confession of Alhaji Abubakar Abdullahi, the imam of the mosque in Bakinladi local government, who saved, Christian villagers from 10 villages when they are about to be attacked by Fulani, by bandits or terrorists. He harbored them in his mosques. He saved them. That man made a convention that the level of religious tolerance, the level of accommodation of Governor Lalong to other religion is second to none. Then you equally watch it that the level of inter-religious or inter-tribal disaffection or war in Plateau State have reduced drastically. This, of course, cannot be divorced from the magic wand of Governor Lalong. So if you now combine all these factors, that is experience to do the job, accommodating other interests in the state, and other factors considered for good governance, loyalty to the party, you will find out that the candidature of Governor Lalong is the best. And I believe that other opposition parties are already feeling jittery, with this master stroke, the Tinubu Shetima for presidency, and the Lalong as the DG of the campaign council. It's a master stroke, a novel idea that have, and you equally have to give it to the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu because of the timeliness, the readiness, and his preparedness for the 2023 election. I want to say that of all the major political parties, APC held its presidential primaries last. And Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu happened to be the last person that emerged among all the frontiers. But it is equally instructive that while other political parties are still embarking on political masturbation and involved in the intellectual gridlock, as in resolving the fallout of their party primaries, Asiwaju have advanced further to be bold enough to name a competent vice president, not minding the noise from the other side, and at the same time constitute his campaign committee. It shows that this is a man that have the readiness, that is really prepared for the job, and I want to advance the country forward. He's not somebody that will stay in Nigeria for 2 or 3 days, stay outside the country for 3 months. He's prepared for the job.
I'm going to come back to you, comrade.
And if you look at the level, the concessions given to him at the convention, at the APC primaries, you will find out that his candidature cut across tribe and race. Whether be it Christian, be it Muslim, or everything.
I'm going to come back to you. Okay, comrade. Thank you. I'm going to come back to you. I think, I understand the comrade because, you see, I think from time to time you do experience a delay in the transmission of the signal, so he might not hear me in good enough time. Especially when he gets into his flow, and politicians can be quite, filled with the fervor of their idea. I understand that. Comrade Ayodele, as he put it, what he referred to as the noise of other people, yeah, that's sort of like the voice of dissent. Now, Tinubu chose Shetima. Tinubu is known, he is known to not be a stranger to tough decisions. He has that reputation. At the time that he's making this decision, there would have been quite a number against or that didn't understand. But then in the fullness of time, people begin to look at the genius of the man. I don't want to necessarily go into names here. Where did this one come from? How did we arrive here? And then people begin to say, this man is something of a genius, that kind of a thing. You working very, very closely with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you yourself, you know this. Do you think that's something playing out here? Is there a pattern here where Tinubu will make this hard decision, this tough decision for the benefit of all, but it's not necessarily recognized at the time?
Well, I will give you a hint. Asiwaju's strength is in discussion. It creates a venue for people to come to discuss. He might have his own opinion, he will put it on the table and you discuss. At the point of discussion, he also does SWOT analysis. And they put all of the character, the pedigree, the antecedents of the individual or the subject matter on the table. Some people might get carried away with emotions. Remember that he's an auditor, he's an accountant, he's an activist, he's a businessman. All of these things come to play. He's ascending. He has ascended through different class of self, while climbing from a humble beginning to a middle class to where God has put him now. So he appreciates all of these things. At the end of the day, he just must have to make a decision, like a leader. While people have not seen it from different perspectives that he has seen it, he will discuss it with you to make you see why they should go this way. And perhaps if we get to the end point, we might have a lacuna. But how do we go past that? And that is when determination, dexterity, and purpose come to be. When we get to that point, we'll know what to do next. But as at this point, we need to get out of this situation. Those are what will play out.
Yes, and
but a man should not be afraid of making his decision. Exactly. What matters more is for you to take responsibility for your decision. Taking no decision is more disastrous.
Because let me stay on this point that you've just made, Comrade Adewale. The person's responsibility, taking responsibility for the decision is one thing. And as you said, Tinubu discusses.
Definitely.
He might have an impression, but he's not just going to go with that. He's going to want to hear from everybody. And the way I hear it, should he feel that there has been superior logic, superior reason, the man I hear is not adverse to changing his mind.
I will give myself as a case study. Ashwaju might have his own opinion. He doesn't layer it over people. Most of the time, people's decision or opinion, it takes it as a superiority view, as long as you can prove to him. While I was contesting for chairman of Amu Odofe, from your standpoint and many standpoints, I'm known as this Anogogri activist. You understand? Yes, Anogogri during the military era, that we must have democracy. My issue was brought to him, and he said, oh, no. Let's send you abroad to go study more. That is quite young. And Babaoni Widi Omojola and some other people, and Governor Rauf brought it to him that, look, why don't we try a young person? I was in the civil society. I was working with Chief Anthony Nauru and Professor Shoyinka and Dr. Beko, doing my things the way I understood it. I had my programs. I also had boots on the ground in the local government. For 4 years, I was working with the Alaba Olagide structure. But that hour of decision came. You understand? While I was moving, he was coming, okay. And he said it at the Muzon Center, that he thanked God he did not make a wrong decision. And Ayo became one of our best local government chairman in terms of program and what have you. Because at times you might look at the book, you don't judge it through the cover. You understand? You have to look in depth. What if he had made a wrong decision as at that time?
Indeed.
You understand?
Yes.
I will still go on.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps I'll be, perhaps not. So he succumbed to opinions of people. And at the end of the day, he's not, if I may use the word of the street from Brother Shaggy, he's not homininoet. You understand? But he embraces
Indeed.
views.
Exactly. Comrade Wole Badmus, that particular point, you might also be aware of it, that he's a man who embraces diverse opinions, not necessarily compromising his own, but he wants to hear it, as he's not omniscient, as the Comrade Adewale has just said, and has never claimed to be. But he in his understanding, in his wisdom, and also it needs to be said, in his preference, because he's looking at so many different things, and he has decided that Kashim Shettima is indeed the best option for now. And that is what is going to do, not him necessarily the most good, but quite frankly, the country, because the two of them are going to come and serve the country. They're going to come and, be servants of the country. So there's that aspect to it. But having said all of that, tell me, do you think it's going to be a simple sell, or you are ready, people are ready to do what it takes, to put in the work, put in the elbow grease, if indeed you think that that is what is going to be necessary? Because there are those saying, this is not going to be a walk in the park.
You see, in arriving at the choice of Senator Kashim Shettima as a running mate of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I'm quite sure that a lot of consultations were made among diverse interests in the northern part of the country. Do not forget that the APC Governors Forum in the Northern APC Governors Forum played a crucial role in delivering him. So also is the Northeast Bloc. And this is what informed that after matter of the primaries, Chief Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu took time to make wide consultation among all these various blocs. And don't forget the fact that politics is a game of number, no matter how you look at it. Democracy is the benefit, the tyranny of the majority. You have to consider the number first. You get power first before you can share it. If you consider all individuals involved, you will find out that the personality of Senator Kashim Shettima fit him most into that requirement for the vice presidential candidate of a serious contender for the office of President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Number one, he has the requisite experience in the private sector by getting to the cradle of his career in the banking sector. Then, in coming to the public sector, he became a governor, two-time governor. Even the revelation, the convention of Reverend Father Kagama, the former CAN chairman in Borno State, attesting to the religious, the liberal nature of Senator Shettima and his accommodating other interests of religious wise. It is enough indication to you that this man is all encompassing. Sponsorship of so many pilgrims, building of church, accommodating Christians that were displaced from their homes, and even playing a major role.
Credentials are
in the
impeccable.
detriment of,
I know that. We understand. All right, then. Welcome back. And we have in our Abuja studio, Comrade Wole Badmus, Southwest Coordinator of the Grand Alliance for Tinubu Shettima 2023. That's a campaign organization. It's against the backdrop of the APC chair, announcing yesterday that Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State had been appointed the APC Presidential campaign. And in studio here, we have Comrade Ayodele Adewale. And what the two gentlemen have been doing is that they've been showing us or pointing out the merits of the choice of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because that's where the prerogative is. And he's made a hard choice, if you want, because it is my thinking that the easiest choice to make would have been what everybody's talking about now. I'm a Muslim, you're a Christian. However, there is no law about that. And this is where it's a tough one, it's a hard one, but Tinubu didn't shy away because of his conviction for this matter. Now, going about selling the ticket, the APC ticket, the Tinubu Shettima ticket to the people, and for this, what some people have referred to as a distraction, not to matter, no doubt Simon Lalong must have his work cut out for him.
Definitely, because we have a shortness of time, so I will try to extray the ability of these two men. One, Governor Lalong has a lot of goodwill among the governors. And his nature, he has a calm nature, and he has the ability to bring people to sit down, to listen and discuss.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, in all of the discussion, he always arrives at a workable point that everybody will agree on.
A consensus.
A consensus. If you look at his pattern of governance in Plateau State, you hardly hear any water being disturbed. Even when the opposition have issues and all of that, he knows how to talk to the people and carry them on. That is a very strong virtue that you will need in the DG, especially when you have dissenting voice or voices and people with different interests. I want to be very careful with words now. Different interests, and that their interests will be carried along. Someone that they can be rest assured that can become the equator for everybody. Now, for former Governor Adams Oshiomhole, remember that he was a labor leader. He has been in the labor movement all his life. And the larger population, the voting age of the Nigerian people are from the labor force. Regardless of whether there's a party using the labor appellage or what have you, he knows the language to speak to that set of interest. He knows how to bring them for the political advantage of the APC. And having walked the talk while he was governor of Edo State, those also will come into full swing. If you now look at the demography of different interest groupings in Nigeria, these two men have a lot to bring to the table, apart from the standard bearer that knows how to also use his goodwill to bring all interest on board. Now, putting all of these things together, I can assure you that Asiwaju Shettima administration is going to deliver on all their electoral promises. Indeed.
And Comrade Wole Badmus in our Abuja studio, maybe a final question for you. The internal, that is to say, high-ranking members of your party, and I think it needs to be said, it's not just, non-Muslims, that is to say Christians. There are some others that also think that strategically the choice could have been different. What do you think about that and the convenience of bringing everybody on board, which indeed must be the case if APC is going to be victorious?
APC as a party is an all-embracing party. It's a party that accommodates all interests. The issue of religion balancing and everything have been settled with the appointment of Governor Lalong as the DG of the campaign committee, which will bring everybody on board. Then the top-ranking members of the party, of course, disagreement is an inbuilt part of democracy, but we disagree to agree. Of course, being the largest party in Africa now, we are bound to have some dissenting opinion, but that is not to override the overall, to overshadow the overall interest of the party. The overall goal, the focus, the target before the party now is to consolidate on the gain of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, win the presidency come 2023 with the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu Shettima ticket, advance Nigeria to the glorious stage, on global stage, eradicate insecurity, reduce reduce unemployment, solve the energy problem, resolve the academic impasse in tertiary institution, grant life more abundance to Nigeria. That is the preoccupation of our party now.
Comrade, those are the issues that you want people to concentrate on, not the faith of one or the other. Those are the very issues, and I agree with you, as has been said severally, that that is the way to go. I want to thank you very much, comrade, for making time for us. Thank you very much for coming on from our Abuja studios. Okay, so we're leaving, the Abuja studios, and Comrade Wole Badmus, Southwest Coordinator of Grand Alliance for Tinubu Shettima 2023, GATS or GATS 2023. Mr. Festus Kayamo, SAN, of course, we haven't mentioned him, but then he's the spokesperson of, the council that has just been set up. So that's to one side. Now, the task, it's going to require, you were referring to back in 93, the Hope 93 ticket, and how it was, there were different aspects to it. Abiola's running mate at the time, he was a diplomat, he brought that to it. Abiola was what he was. He was the person who gathered everybody together. Now, this time, there's a similarity in the sense that Asiwaju is the global figure. That's the guy whose name resounds around the world. He has the international presence. Now, Shettima coming in is a technocrat, but the fact that senior members of your party, who ordinarily cannot be ignored, are, still reluctant to come on board, and yet they must. It has to be done so that they willingly come on board. That's going to take some doing, right?
Definitely, it will take a lot of discussion in order to assure people that their whims and caprices will be taken very seriously.
So every aspect, every aspect. Nobody will be left behind.
No. Everybody is needed. One vote matter.
Sorry to interrupt you, comrade. Let me take Mr. Yakub. In fact, Yakub himself is a comrade. Good morning, Comrade Yakub.
Good morning, sir. And then good morning to Comrade Ayodele.
Good morning, Mr.
Hello,
Yakub.
can you hear me, sir? Hello? Hello, Chief Jody, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Chief Jody, let me begin by saying this. This 2023 election is going to be based on some certain things. One, let's look at the individual they are going to contest for this presidency in person of Ashwad Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's look what he has been able to do when he was the first governor of Lagos State. You see, the Christian or Muslim ticket, I think Nigeria should move beyond all these things. You know why am I saying that? In my own personal family, as a Muslim, I have a lot of sisters that is Christian. So what are you now telling me that I should jettison them, or they are not part of my member, or they are not within my family? But what really happened is this: we need a good governance. In Lagos State here, look at the cabinet of Ashwad Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was a governor of Lagos State. I can make mention like 4 or 5 commissioners in Lagos State that is Christian. And then this is a person I'm trying to be corrected in this country, a political figure that is what remains pastor up to today, up to tomorrow. I've never seen any political leader like that in this country that will allow his wife to remain a pastor when he was a Muslim. Let me say this, sir. We do respect to my Christian fellow. You see, in Southwest today, apart from the governor of Osun State that is outgoing, if he does not win the election back from the court, it is only remains Muslim governor in the all of the South, including the South, Southeast, and other South. So what are we talking about?
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Yakub. I've got to make room for other people as well. Appreciate your comments here. Appreciate your contribution to the issue. That is what people have been saying from day one. I was making the perhaps simplistic example of since when did patients begin to ask the religion of their doctors? You need an expert surgeon. Since when did will his religion become a deal breaker? Same thing with a pilot and anybody else who has a complicated assignment. You look for the competency. Now, this idea, however, is what has to be floated. Because it's like people know logically, but then when it comes to faith, I said it earlier, leave logic out of it. When it comes to faith, it's a matter of conviction. And how some people have now brought politics and brought it into this whole, so you now have a religio-political conundrum. They're going to have to sort it out. But it can be done. Definitely. There's no task that's impossible if you bring the right man to the job. And in that sense, Simon Lalong, who is highly spoken of by the chairman and by you two gentlemen here, if there's anybody up to the task, he is.
Definitely. You should not be amazed. Things like that are meant to happen. It's like a boxing match, and you're fighting your opponent, and you throw a blow, and that blow actually is creating reaction. Definitely, you keep targeting on that area. But as a very experienced politician like Ashwaju is, and the party has a lot of them, we would not look at that distraction. We will stay glued to putting our programs forward. And as God has given to us now, we are the ruling party. So we'll keep on walking the talk, walking the program to make sure that we solve all of these national questions.
Okay. Mr. Danjuma in Jos, good morning to you, sir.
Nice morning.
Fine morning to you. Please go ahead.
The PDP has nothing to tell Nigeria. What? Nice morning. The PDP has nothing to tell Nigeria. All this problem that we are in now is then that they are the foundation of the problem. If we talk about electricity, they are the one that showed it. And the way they put everyone in the pit, that's to come up from inside the pit. That is the problem we are facing. And instead of them to do campaign, to tell Nigeria what to do, they are still using the Muslims as their own campaign to cause war. And if the war comes, everybody will be running scatter and scatter. The Boko Haram did not know whether you are a Muslim or a Christian. The Boko Haram kill Muslims, he kill Christians, he kill whoever come across them. Then if you talk in terms of selling property to themselves, it's then that most of this problem that we are facing. In Nigeria now, we are beyond that. We instead of us to think of who to bring us across in the distance, to come us from inside the pit, they still want us to still remain in that pit. All their children are still abroad. Is this as well as they call it Muslims? It's a Catholic man who are married with a woman, a Catholic He cannot go and marry a deeper life woman. This is Asiwaju is a Muslim. If Asiwaju is coming to turn Nigeria to Muslim, why you go marry Christian?
Oh.
People are using that language to say Setima is from Borno State. They believe that Setima, he has about almost 5 states. Look at their language in Latvian. Look at their language in Bauchi. They are in part of Kanu. They are in part of this. If you ask them, they know they have already lost already. That is why they are using, instead of them, we are using pastor with Buhari. If assuming Buhari die before winning election, there will be many people that will go to his grave and worship Buhari. That it is Buhari that will command them for problems. If we have Pastor Sibanjo, who is the helper to this person? Where are we now? When
All right.
we talk about security,
Indeed.
the security that conquered the whole state, the whole local government, almost 17 local governments is in the hand of Boko Haram by them.
Okay then.
And
So
they are-
thank you very much, Danjuma. I'm going to have to come in just to give room to other people who might want to call in as well. But I want to thank you very much, Mr. Danjuma, who called in from Jos. Exactly as he says, the objective is to win the election. There are so many parameters that have to be taken into consideration, some of which he mentioned. But the larger one is that, and I hope I don't rattle too many people, especially church leaders, when I say that, they are coming, it's from the church that you are, if the church was not lending their voice to this whole conversation, did I call it a debate, then it might not be as contentious as it is. But, well, it is their prerogative, it is their right to speak, and they do so speak. And I don't know the extent to which it is muddying the waters, but it all is coming back on the head of Simon Lalong as the DG, but not him alone, including Tinubu himself and Shetima himself. All of them, in fact, all APC. Everybody is a foot soldier in this particular campaign. And I imagine you also would be thinking that even those that are APC, loyal APC people, but still do not see eye to eye with the mainstream, even they themselves have to come along.
You see, what the church have only done is to advise. The church has not come that they want to take part in it. It's just an advice. And the advice...
But it's very influential.
well, it's an advice.
It still is that.
No. When some advice comes in and they give you room for reply,
okay,
right, and you reply, and you let them understand the reason why you are taking this step, then they also take it in and embrace the issue.
So it's going to be about engagement, is what you're saying. It's going to be about engagement. Let me bring in Mazi Okoroafo. Good morning to you, sir, in Arochukwu there.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning, I guess.
Good morning.
When we talk about Lalong as the lead, as the campaign man, he has the voice. He can talk. But good morning, sir. Good morning, I guess. Now, when we talk about Lalong, at least he has the voice and he has the strength. Because you cannot bring somebody who cannot talk well, at least when he's talking, you will hear very clearly. So, Nigerian issue, whether Muslim or no Muslim, that one, to me, has nothing to do. Because when we look at, we should be talking about the track record of anybody coming on board. Nobody has the track record. Like I used to say with Pastor Luko, if all the states in Nigeria, all the governors presently, they balance the religion in terms of their commissioners, I think all this issue of Muslim, Christian, it will not come up. It's just that our sense of reasoning and our approach to issues, it is the high time for Nigerian governors in all the states to balance their executive council, carry all the religion, all the tribes in Nigeria when they are training any government. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. After all said and done, we must remember that Nigeria is a secular state. It doesn't matter that. The people have comments on that. Vis-a-vis, the Constitution is one thing. When you see what's going on, none of this is unfixable, whatever the issues are. And the Tinubu Shetima ticket, I think but we've been hearing about it. They have all these laudable programs that they have said, this is what we want to work on. It just so happens that there is this conversation ongoing now that diffuses it. And it is not doing so based on logic. is doing so based on a psychological aspect, which can be quite problematic. But nobody is saying that we don't want an improved economy. Nobody is saying that we don't want, all the things that Tinubu has enumerated. We need all of those things. Surely, what is now left is, are we now going to say that, but if there's any other faith, a person of any other faith trying to deliver that one to me, then I have an issue with it. So these are the problems.
Well, I will only take it from two angles. APC have decided to act like that, like the eagle. That is a very important signature in our crest. And we are moving above the height in which the opposition have been throwing pebbles in order to deliver our programs. The second angle is to look at the Indian society, the India society. Now, they have a lot of religion.
Exactly.
They have two dominant ones. And in all of their politicking, they've not allowed religion to hold them down, right?
So we can borrow a leaf
We can borrow from
that,
them. Because if you want to open this religious vista, you have a lot of atheists in Nigeria. You have African religious people in Nigeria. And I can tell you they're in large number. So if they come together and say, oh, our own
is not represented.
What do we do? Are you going to shut them out?
Indeed. The point has been made very, strongly, Comrade. Thank you very much for coming on. Comrade Ayodele Adewale, APC Organizing Secretary, Lagos State Chapter. And our thanks also to our guest in our Abuja studio that joined us earlier,